You're not playing guitar when you're first finding Metallica. You weren't playing instruments or anything like that when you.
I just was getting into playing bass and guitar a little bit both.
Okay.
Like I had a kind of a beginner guitar and a beginner bass, and I did start taking bass lessons, but I would still mess around with guitar a little for fun. But it became clear bass was what I wanted to do, even though I
Okay.
had both instruments available to me.
Was it more because
Um,
of and I'm sorry to keep harping on that, but was it more rock influence playing that you're doing at this particular point, and then, as you progress in your musical journey, you're finding like Metallica, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh,
yeah, yeah. I
here comes
started
this
out like
trajectory.
I remember getting together with some friends from school that also played music and like rock and metal, and we played like Rock You Like a Hurricane. Not very good, at least on my end. I can say I don't want to. We played that song probably 20 times
Nice.
together or whatever. We had a couple songs like that we could sort of get through, and we just
Yeah.
play the heck out of them. It was just so much fun to play music with other people.
Yeah.
That's really one of the big driving forces for me to like want to be a musician, was to be part of something like that, to hear it all happening at once. It's one thing to sit at home and practice, and that's fine. I still enjoy that, but really, it's just so much fun hearing it all coming together.
Yeah.
You and your friends making music together, and choosing bass, part of it for sure. I mean, I love the way bass sounded and everything. I love the role it played in the band, but I also am the kind of guy who likes to set reasonable goals. And if you're listening to like Van Halen or AC/DC, I've used this example a few other times, but you don't know how to play an instrument at all, what seems more reasonable? Learning to do Michael Anthony's job or Eddie Van Halen's job, or
Yeah.
learning to do Williams' job or learning to do Angus Young's job? Like
Yeah.
I'm like, I think I could actually play bass in a
Yeah. Yeah.
band, but at the time I was like, there's just no way. Those guys playing lead guitar, that stuff's borderline magic. It's
Yeah.
like I couldn't even imagine as a beginning musician being able to play like that. So I loved how bass sounded. I loved what it did in a band. Like bass player like Peter Baltes from Accept,
Hmm.
Cliff Williams and Mark Evans from AC/DC, the stuff that they wrote. Um, Obviously Iron Maiden too, but for sure I really liked some of those guys who did the straightforward stuff. Like I liked hearing that foundation. So and it also did seem like a not unreasonable goal to strive for, to be able to play that kind of bass. And then, as I heard the harder and harder stuff and became a little better, I wanted to push myself. But in the beginning, I just wanted to lay it down. And there's always something like that still in my head, to where if a song sounds better with me just laying it down, that's what I'm going to do. I'm
Yeah.
not going to try and force a bunch of tech stuff in there just to have it in there.